There are some stories that just stick with you, and this is one of them. Today we're diving into a really timeless tale called The Parable of the Cracked Pot. It's all about how we see ourselves, our purpose, and, believe it or not, the amazing beauty we can find in our own imperfections.
So the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful idea that we should be able to look at ourselves and see something inherently beautiful, something valuable, just the way we are. It's a great starting point, right? Self-acceptance.
But here's the real question, isn't it? What happens when you look in the mirror and you don't see that beauty? When all you can focus on are your flaws? Well, if you've ever felt kind of broken or defined by your mistakes, then this one's for you. We're about to completely reframe how you see those very cracks. Okay, let's jump into the story. It all starts with an old farmer and his two big water pots. Every day, he'd carry them on a long walk from a stream back to his house.
Now these two pots were, complete opposites. One was absolutely perfect. It delivered every single drop of water every single time, and boy, was it proud of that. The other one, though, it had this long crack running down its side. It leaked the whole way home and felt like a total failure because of it.
And because of that leak, every single day after that long trek from the stream, the farmer would get home with only 1.5 pots of water. Now for the cracked pot, this wasn't half a success. It was a constant, measurable sign of its failure.
And to make matters worse, you've got the perfect pot just piling on, constantly reminding the cracked pot how useless it was. It was that nagging voice we all hear sometimes, right? The one that tells you you're just not good enough and reinforces all that shame.
So you can imagine, after years and years of feeling this way, just completely overwhelmed by shame and the sense of failure, the cracked pot decided it couldn't take it anymore. It had to talk to the farmer.
And this wasn't just a small worry, it was this all-consuming thought. In its mind, it was failing at the one thing it was made for. It felt like it was actively wasting the farmer's effort every single day, just letting him down over and over again.
So it gets to this point, this real low, and it finally confesses. It just lays it all out there. Says, I'm broken, I failed you, and basically asks to be thrown away and replaced.
Okay, so you'd probably expect the farmer to be like, yeah, you're right, you're broken. But that is not what happened. Not at all. His response was something way gentler and honestly, a lot more profound.
Instead of getting mad or even agreeing with the pot, the farmer gives this really calm, almost mysterious instruction. He doesn't even focus on the flaw. He just tells the pot to look for something beautiful on their walk the next day.
And what do you know? The next day on the walk back, the pot actually looks and it sees this incredible, vibrant line of flowers. For just a second, their beauty kind of lifts its spirits. But then it notices something kind of weird. The flowers are only growing on its side of the path.
So they get back to the house, and even after seeing the flowers, the pot is still feeling down about leaking all that water. But this is where we get the big reveal. This is where the farmer explains everything, and it perfectly captures the whole point of the story.
And the farmer just lays it out there. He simply asks, did you happen to notice that all those beautiful flowers were only on your side of the path and not on the other pot's side? And the difference was just so stark, right? One side was barren, dusty, and the other was just bursting with life.
Look at this plan. It's so simple, it's genius, right? The farmer saw what the pot thought was a flaw, but he saw an opportunity. He knew about the crack, so he planted flower seeds on that side of the path. And every day, he let the pot's supposed weakness do all the watering for him.
And this is the line that just changes everything. The farmer says, I knew about your crack the whole time. It was never a mistake. He intentionally used that flaw to create something beautiful that the perfect pot never could have. That crack wasn't a bug. It was a feature. The flaw was the whole point.
All right, so let's zoom out. What does this all mean for us? Because this simple story builds into a really powerful lesson, especially for us today, living in a world that just seems to demand perfection all the time.
Because let's face it, this story isn't really about a pot, is it? It's a mirror. We all have our own cracks, our own things we see as flaws. We all have those moments where we feel like we're not enough, especially when we're scrolling online and comparing our lives to everyone else's highlight reel. So this story is really challenging us to just stop chasing this impossible idea of perfection. It's inviting us to accept our flaws, and even better, to get curious about them. What if being too sensitive is actually what makes you an amazing friend or leader? What if that thing you failed at in the past gives you the exact wisdom to help someone else?
How can our cracks actually become our greatest strengths?
And that's the real takeaway here. That's why this old story still hits so hard today. Our unique flaws, our vulnerabilities, our cracks, they can give our lives a purpose and a beauty that some sterile, perfect life never could. They let us water the flowers in the world in a way that literally no one else can.
So we're left with this final, really powerful idea. It basically says, do something that makes the world want to be like you. And listen, that's not about being perfect. No way. It's about being so authentically yourself, so beautifully flawed, that you give other people the permission to do the same. So don't hide your cracks. Use them, because that is how you create a life that truly inspires.